Hey everyone, 12 Pine, yeah, that's what I used to be called. Yeah, Pine Grove News Live from the East Coast. We're still here. Yeah, 6:01 p.m. here. Yeah, let's go see if we're live. And we are at PNG live stream. Let's see if it'll load. Yeah, I got a lot of tabs open, but any case. So, I hope everyone's doing okay. Blessings to everyone. We're all in our own little battles. God bless, Sister Hen. Hope you and yours are okay. Yeah. So, just another day. It's it is Wednesday. A lot of people like to refer to it as Hump Day. Why is the live stream is just there we go. All right, everything's working. So yeah, you know what's in the news, right? Let's go over the notes. The notes I got, first of all, is one of them is the market. The market is again down 1,464 points. Okay. And I guess that was over the news that the WHO or CDC, I don't know who it was, but they finally declared that we have a world pandemic on our hands. Even though we've been talking about it for quite a while now. I think the music is still playing. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't hear it. Got to turn it off or else I'd hear it echo. But anyway. Yeah, market down 1,464. So, even with the plus from yesterday, points, it's still down 364 in those 2 days. And that's not including the 3,000 plus that was down, prior to that. So, just use your own discernment, man. This seems to me like they're trying to pull something and doesn't look good for us, that's for sure. They've already talking about, let's put this up here first. Got to put up our disclaimer, okay? The Fair Use Act. Let's put that up there. Try to put it up there first. So it's just crazy. I mean, I just feel like I'm in a twilight zone or something, man. It really does. I mean, the rumors out there, that China has some other different type of strain that's over there in China, obviously the coronavirus or whatever it is. But there's all kinds of stuff out there right now. I mean, we got an article from, I don't know where it's from. We'll get to it, but I mean, I think it's dengue fever. 14,000 people. And yet, if you put that on the world map and follow that, you'd probably be just as worried or fearful as this one. But I don't understand this one. And like I was saying, feels like I'm in, totally different reality than the rest of these people who are just totally fearful people, Yeah, one little change to their slice of heaven, and yeah, all hell breaks loose. Well, we'll put up on the page the current numbers anyway on this website that we're following. It's called arcgis.com. You'll leave it up there. You can see it on the live stream. And I always put it in the link anyway. But that's the current numbers, 124,000 578 confirmed. And the death toll is 4,584. The total in the U.S. now, and that's jumped up pretty good too. I mean, we'll go over the past couple days. Try to go back at least 2 days. But in the U.S., it's up to 1,110 confirmed cases now. Now, this is the thing that people, they hear the numbers. Confirmed. It's been confirmed. Warning. Confirmed. 1,110 confirmed cases. That means, okay, everyone, listen, that means out of a country, right? U.S. We'll just go with the number that everyone last knew, 320 million, okay? Out of 320 million, that's a lot. 1,110 confirmed cases. I don't even want to, you should be able to recognize how low of a number that is. But yes, it'll probably get worse. I mean, people will get sick. I think that this strain that they put out, that they engineered, is a strain that basically one of the main purposes is to infect everyone, not necessarily kill everyone, because we know the stats on that and who's dying. Okay, it's the elderly that are dying mostly. You'll have a couple here and there that they put in it because they've got something wrong with their health, but just go look it all up, man. It's everywhere. That's the only people who are dying. I mean, it's enough. Of course, it's enough that this thing is killing people, but the numbers are just so low. And yet they're canceling sports events. I mean, huge ones, basketball, pro basketball games, concerts, you name it, and they're probably canceling it. They're stopping schools. They're canceling school programs. They even got some ridiculous bans. You can't go somewhere, especially if for 100 people or less. Okay, you could go meet somewhere, but if it's 100 people plus, you're banned from attending. I mean, little stuff like this is just ridiculous. It's just totally, like I said. I mean, I feel like I'm not. I'm going to claim this and stick to it, that I am not of this world. But I can see the craziness in it. The Christians, you ought to know this stuff. So, they're going to start forcing people to quarantine themselves. They already have. They've had towns. They've had whole countries. Italy. It's a mandatory quarantine, self-quarantine, means stay home, don't go out. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do when everybody is staying home, not doing anything? What do you think's going to happen? Well, first of all, the economy is going to crash, if that happens. But no, don't worry, that won't happen. It may not happen. You never know. The Lord will do what he will do. But they're going to come out with this. They're talking about stimulus packages. Do you remember these things, folks? How ridiculous it was the first time and second time they tried it? Remember the first time with insurance companies, okay? While they're getting stimulus packages, and when it's a stimulus package or any kind of package that's given out to help the economy, who's paying for it? You're paying for it. I'm paying for it. The hardworking blue collar, white collar too, they're paying for it. So, then it's the banks. Why we got to bail out the damn banks? They have the money. Well, the elite have the money, but nowadays I think they can't have more than $3,500 unless they've changed it on hand at the bank at one time. I remember I seen some videos where some guy went in to pay his mortgage at a bank in America with $1,500 in cash and they wouldn't accept it. I don't know. Crazy stuff like that goes on. And so they're coming out with this. President's going to be on at 9 o'clock. First he said 8, but it is Fox, anyways, on that mainstream media channel. Said 9 p.m. Eastern time. Mr. Trump will be coming out, or Mr. President, whatever you want to call it. He will be on air, and I guess he's going to mention some more of this stimulus package, and maybe you should listen because you're going to pay for it. I don't know. This is just another one of these things, and that's why I don't understand why the coronavirus, okay? Because it doesn't make any sense, but they're doing it so that they can do other things. We've talked about that for the past 2 weeks. And one of them is trying to squeeze us of the last few dollars that we may have. You know that extra $10 or so, you may have at the end of the week. And you say, oh, well, I think I'll go treat myself. I mean, I got $10, so I might as well go get a iced coffee. I haven't had that in a couple of years. I haven't been able to afford it. So now you got $10. Well, you know what's going to happen? They're going to take that $10. Yeah, but of course, this stimulus, one of the parts of it is it's going to help the people who live check by check, okay, and have to take sick days that they don't have to stay at home, self-quarantine, and so on. That's part of the stimulus, but it's far, far reaching than that. I mean, they're talking a lot of things. I mean, and they're doing this on purpose, man. They're these events. I mean, it's going to hurt the economy. Period. It's already hurting, China. So they're going to do that. So they're going to come up with some stimulus. They're going to take it out of your paycheck and give it back to you, if you have to take a sick day. Only if you got, coronavirus. If you're just sick of the flu or something, forget it. You're not going to get paid for the sick days. Yeah. Even though the flu, and I don't care what anybody says, and there's been a few today that said that this coronavirus is a lot worse than the flu. And so there's more data pointing to the fact that they're very, very wrong. But any case, yeah, quarantine in place at home, losing money. Like I said, we've already talked about other people having to stay at home, mandatory stuff. Talked about Trump on TV. Let's see. All right, well, now you got these figures. This is the current figures. I want to go back. Let's see. Today is the 11th. So let's go back to the 9th where it was 113,584, 607 in the U.S. The next day, it went up 5,000, and the count in the U.S. went up 200 at 805. And then today, that count went up 5,000, and the amount from 805 to 1110. So that went up 300. So even though they're talking about the Wuhan coronavirus in China, supposedly that it's coming to a standstill. Meanwhile, here in the U.S. and other places, it's increasing. So they say. And, we can always go on this map and, go to the U.S. and find out where in the U.S. See, they're not even pointing to the right area right now. So there's something wrong with this map right now. Don't know what it is, so we can't do that. I don't know why. But anyways, I've heard of North Carolina and South Carolina bringing in National Guard. My wife is in New York, okay? Dr. Johnson, New York City. She's not actually in the city, so she's kind of midway in New York on the east border. She got called in to help that hotel out, and now she called me today telling me that their manager quit, and now my wife is going to end up being there for 2 weeks. So, and I've heard about some, yeah, they're closing places down in New York. I don't know exactly where or what towns yet. Actually, I do Fairville or Fairview, something like that. Let's so anyway, here's the other thing that's out there. Okay, we're talking about the coronavirus. There's flu that we get every freaking year. Okay, they had some big numbers out there for what the flu did, and that killed. I can't believe the figure of 480,000. It's got to be less than that. Maybe it's 48,000. All I know is they say that the flu this year killed more people than were killed in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, I believe it was 53 or 58,000 that were killed in Vietnam and or imprisoned and never came home. That's big figures, people. And we're at what? 4,000, 5,000? Yeah, it's not going to show me that. We'll go down to our picture down here. Yeah, 4,500. Any case, let's get back here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right. So we were here with the Dengue. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but in the meantime, we've had these other viruses that are still out there, and some, like they're talking about this other one in China that is, they're not mentioning what it is. Maybe it's just the coronavirus mutating again, because they have two coronavirus, viruses out there. Dengue fever outbreak hits Indonesia, 16,000 cases and 100 fatalities reported so far. There goes my alarm. Sometimes that dog. All right, so what else we got here? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that yet. So let's just go down this list. Oh, by the way, Sanders is not dropping out. Just one quick political news thing here. Don't know why. He should, because Biden's got all the numbers now. And what a miraculous turnaround that was, don't you think? Yeah, kind of a show going on there too, made up or not. So Sanders is going to stay in, even though he knows he's not going to be able to catch Biden. But there is a debate scheduled for Sunday for mainstream media. So I guess why step out of the race now when you can go on TV and do it? I don't know. So they can have this debate. I actually do want to see this debate between Biden and Sanders. That's the only debate it's going to be against, right? Until somebody jumps in later. So it'll be very interesting. And then what I would like to see is Biden and Trump. If that's the case, if that's the only nominee, then I don't know. It would be very interesting to watch. And maybe that's what they'll end up planning. Yeah, so we already told you this. WHO finally declared the pandemic 10 times more lethal than seasonal flu. Not. No, it's not. Maybe when they, how we did this a couple days ago, we broke down the figures. There are reasons, 10 times more lethal than seasonal flu. Could be they're only pointing at a certain area and a certain amount of population. You know how that works. And then they get their figures from that instead of all the data. In any case, they finally declared that, even though we knew that it was already around the world. U.S. military prepares to deploy troops to New York's first COVID-19 containment zone in preparation for hot martial law. Yeah, that's not what it was called a couple days ago. Medical martial law. Or that's what they're calling it. So in any case, New Rochelle, that's the place in New York, okay? While mainstream outlets are busy trying to convince the general public that the city's newly announced COVID-19 containment zone will not become militarized in any way, the U.S. military is preparing to deploy National Guards. Yeah, the troops to help mitigate the spread of the virus. I mean, what does that mean? Are they going to help spread the virus? Or are they going to, what does that mean? What are they going to do? Pass out water bottles? They're going to, perform tests on everyone? I mean, what exactly does that mean? And so this enforcement, a 14-day containment order in which large social gatherings will be banned. According to somebody else, it's 100 plus. Anything more than that, and I don't know, man. I also think that this could be a test and or the real thing, with this martial law thing. Anyways, there's I don't know if I got it, but there was some guy out there talking about, well, that's one thing Trump could do to stop the coronavirus within 30 days. Oh, Mike Adams from Natural News has an article out. Yeah, here it is. So, yeah, how Trump can end the coronavirus epidemic in 30 days. And you won't like it. And our republic may not survive. So, yeah. And that means shutting down air travel, shutting the borders down, self-contained, everyone. Everybody stay in your home for 30 days. Why do you think they got this? Go and get food. Go and get food and water. Go prepare. So anyways, over the last few weeks, people have been repeatedly asking, for solutions to the coronavirus. And so be careful what you ask for. Yes, there's a solution to end the coronavirus in the USA in just 30 days. It involves President Trump declaring a national emergency and announcing a 30-day shelter in place, a lockdown for the entire nation. You talk about an economy collapsing? What are people supposed to do for 30 days? Yeah, it's one thing. Yeah, okay, we're going to announce a national emergency, 30-day shelter in place, and all your National Guards in each state are going to be called up, and wherever there's trouble, they're going to go and lock it down. It's martial law, okay, people, and any case. And the virus does not warrant it, but they're making you believe somehow. These people, I guess the Lord has given many people a mind state that they will believe the lie, okay? And the lie is that this coronavirus is 10 times more or worse than the seasonal flu, and so on and so forth. But they can do so many things with this. This, once you declare this pandemic and you shut down the country, they have a lot of places shut down. People are going to get this virus. They get it every year, either the flu or some other kind of virus. It happens every year. Every year. Only this time they put it out there on the news and they got the CDC involved, and and still go back and look at the Event 201. Is that what it was? Event 201, where they practiced 3 months before we heard about the outbreak. They practiced this very same thing. And what do we normally say when they go and practice something, or they're having a drill? What happens? It actually becomes that thing. It actually happens. In any case, yeah. Close all the borders, shelter in place. People are not going to be prepared, and they're going to go out and try and get food, and people are going to get killed that way. So, medical martial law, according to this Oath Keeper founder, Stuart Rhodes, a constitutional scholar. And he's reminded me that all forms of martial law are unconstitutional. Way too many people think martial law is constitutional, he warns. And they have been conditioned to think that. It's not. He further explains that all such scenarios are ruled by the military. Yeah, so, which means the American people will be at the mercy of the military as it is deployed against American citizens. Foreign or domestic. Yep, not a pretty picture, since soldiers are trained to kill people. Well, just like it says, not police people. Well, the police don't police anymore either. They're trained also as soldiers, and they just kill. You hear about it all the time. I can show you. What is that? Forget the site. We can go there. But in any case, there's a site specifically, does those kind of headlines all the time. Yeah, the trouble that police get into, how many people they've killed. I mean, for no reasons at all, most of the time too. Anyways, I'll leave that article there. This got a little video down here from this guy, Stuart Rhodes, interviewed by Mike Adams. If you want to go listen to it, you will have the link when we get done. So in the meantime, Washington state authorities prepare to enforce forced quarantines on the general public. Was it Washington? Wasn't it Washington the other day that said that there's no sense in testing anybody there anymore because they all have it? I thought I saw that the other day. Yeah. So in the meantime, our forces over there in Iraq, which I thought we were getting out of, took some missile attacks and also attacked another place in Iraq. And I think there was a total of 3 Marines that were killed in the rocket attacks. Anyways, that stuff's still going on, people, too. So remember to turn around, okay? While you're watching and listening to this, which is just, flooding the airwaves, okay? Who's the prince of that? So be sure that you look in other directions as well. Go look into other things. Moscow warns people ignoring coronavirus self-isolation rules could face prison. Oh, yeah, that's good. Russia. Yeah. So, Seattle officials prepare aggressive coronavirus crackdown to stop the antivirus or the virus. Let's see. Seattle area public health officials are at the ready to start ordering involuntary isolation and quarantines, and are considering cancellation of major public events. They're already doing it. Many places are already doing it. My wife was talking about, being in New York, and of course, she has the threat of herself being behind the lines if they start closing down and widening the net in New York to self quarantine and so on. So, anyways, I'll be praying for that. And if anybody else wants to join in and pray that those people and my wife do not get stuck where they don't live behind quarantine lines. Kind of reminds me of, what was that? Red Dawn. Yeah, Red Dawn. Behind enemy lines, quarantine. I don't know. I remember when they locked the town down. Yeah, tanks everywhere. So yeah, when they start doing this stuff, there will be tanks. The military will be there. I mean, the Guard does have tanks. I mean, we're already, pretty close to losing how America really is America. I mean, when you still got somebody like Sanders, who's an outright self-proclaimed socialist, communist, candidate, and he gets delegates and votes, means that we're in deep trouble in this country. Deep trouble. And we need to pray for that as well. Anyways, Hayes shared a Washington State Department of Health chart that listed 5 levels of actions that officials could take. They're going to have ongoing discussions Sunday on CBS Face the Nation, saying that the state's response could involve reducing the number of social activities that are going on. They're just going to close you in your house and make you stay there. What was that? What was the other outbreak a while back where they tried to do that? They tried to have people get mandatory vaccinations for the flu and was it the measles too? Because there was an outbreak that was going on a while back, and then they just stopped reporting on it. So in any case, yeah, I mean, they're going to come out, and that's going to be one of the scenarios. They're going to force you to take vaccines, which they claim that they're not going to be able to have at least for the next 6 months, even though Israel and Russia claim that, or Russia claims they have it right now. And why aren't we talking to them? Well, because they want it to spread. They want their other agendas done first. These medical martial laws. And they want your guns. I mean, like Biden said, AR-15. That factory worker there where he told him he was full of crap. Well, it wasn't, because I heard Biden say it. Yeah, I mean, he's a big-time Democrat. Democrats want all your guns taken away so they can bring in their socialism. It's fine as long as you're on, the top tier, right? Cincinnati megachurch pastor. Now this is funny, okay? Because this is the only time that I've ever seen a megachurch pastor actually, agree with something that he's saying. And it's just a title. The title says, "We all need to just calm down and have a Corona beer." It's kind of funny. Though, there's nothing wrong with having a beer. There's nothing wrong with having a drink. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as it doesn't impair your judgment. And that's all I have to say about that. There are other people that think that we should not be drinking at all. I mean, the Bible talks about, a lot of wine drinking. It does say stuff about, hard liquor in the Bible, and that you shouldn't be drinking that stuff. But in any case, I mean, that's totally up to the individual. Myself, if it's a nice summer day outside, me and my wife usually go out in the backyard. We actually put a TV out there, and we play golf on TV, on the old I think it's a PlayStation. I don't know what it is, but it's the only game that we have left. I have something called Dirt 2, where you just race around a car on dirt roads and through wooded areas and waters. Those are the only two games I have. I got rid of everything else. But yeah, it's nice sitting outside. You have a fire going in the fire pit, and just people probably think we're crazy playing, golf outside. But it's fun. It's very relaxing. Good to be outside. And what I was getting to was that I do, most of the time, is I have one of those, I think it's Mike's Hard Lemonade, raspberry type flavored. It's not like I drink all night. I probably have, 1.5 of those things, and that's it. Of course, as much as my wife drinks, she has one, and she's pretty much already on her way. And she'll be the first to admit it. So anyways, all right, back to reality. Reality. That's the other thing. People, will drink and do other things and drugs to escape reality. And believe me, it's a sad place to be in. But you don't have to be there. You can be somewhere else. And I'm talking about spiritually. I mean, we have to be here in the flesh until until we're not, until it's our time. But we can enjoy life much more abundantly, the Bible says, more abundantly, if we know Jesus Christ. If we, are in the Spirit, and that's all I'll say about that for now. But there is another place to go. There is a safe place. And somebody asked me today, I'm not going to get the virus. I'm not going to catch a cold. I'm not, because, Jesus says that he protects me, and he does. He does. He will. But, I mean, let's look at Job, okay? We all know what happened with Job. He was tested, and he passed, and he lost everything. Of course, he was also blessed later on and got, like 10 times more back. I mean, his own wife, after a while Job was suffering with all his physical conditions that the devil was testing him, I mean, his wife even told him to just lay down and die or something. Anyways, little faith. And so a lot of us live with unequally yoked loved ones, unfortunately, and we can only pray and try to be the light, for them. If somebody's changing for the good, and you want to know why that they're changing, right? Anyways. So this one from the week, coronavirus is 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. Yeah. Not true. And we went through this, see, they got their own rates. They're coming out with different scenarios to get their figures. Even that doctor, that's on that team, on the Pence team, the short guy, glasses. I've seen him somewhere before, and I don't know. I think that he's just full of a lot of bull, and for whatever. I mean, they have their own little secret meetings. Did you know that? Their own little secret coronavirus meetings, and whatever the case is, I don't care if they do or not. And not my. I get my strength from somewhere else, and it's not anything from here. Washington State, San Francisco announced bans on large events amid the coronavirus outbreak. So you keep doing that, and you're going to take away people, being able to run their businesses over something that we don't have to worry that much about. I mean, anyways, you can get the coronavirus and not have any symptoms, and then have it, it's almost like you never knew you had it. I mean, but you will, 70%. Keep saying that. And there's other people, and I can tell you, what they call him Mike from around the world, has also stated that almost everyone, if not everyone, will come in contact with the coronavirus. You may not even know that you have it, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you won't know. But I can guarantee you something like this. It goes worldwide, and it's not just the coronavirus, it's the other things too that go worldwide. Measles, dengue fever, Ebola. Heck, there's a lot more. Did I mention measles? Probably did. So, where are we? Oh, this is the other thing. Netanyahu clears $2.8 billion aid to counter coronavirus economic crisis. Okay, I would like to know where all this money, because he's not the only one. I mean, our own president mentioned billions of dollars too, which the Democrats are having a hard time voting for. What are they actually buying with all this? What are they buying? I mean, what's Netanyahu going to do with the $2.8 billion to counter the coronavirus? I mean, you can't really counter it. There's no cure, right? So what are they using that for? I think that they're just trying to squeeze us from the last, amount of money that they can from us before something is instituted or something breaks. And that's good news for us, because if this system breaks, that means they're going to start a new system. It's going to probably be, this beast system. And that would probably either mean that we would be, raptured before that, during it, or after it, or in the process of it. It just seems like we're just keep saying it, we're close. With things like this happening, we're even closer. Closer than you think. Yeah, so, that's it. That's all I got for the news. We've talked about this before too, and I've actually talked about it. One of my Saturday talks, it was a while ago though, about this suicide rate in our military. It's just, they've come out with these figures. Time to bring the troops home. More veterans committed suicide last decade than died in Vietnam. That's twice being referred to Vietnam. That's 58,000 or 53,000 people in 10 years. Anyway, it's one of the highest, that and our college students. I believe it's the number one death of college students. And then you got our teens. And then you got this whole world, man. They're all depressed. Things are just not going well. Obviously, look at where we're at. If you think the people were depressed and just in the wrong way before, this is going to take them to the brink. And they'll probably just all just curl up and let go. Man, but you don't have to. You really don't have to. You could take this all with stride. You can understand the times that we're in, that these things must take place. Jesus said in Matthew 24. Pestilences and things like this, and hunger. People starving all over the world. These things are happening, and they're happening with more frequency, faster and faster all together. And it only goes so far before it pops, right? Just like any other bubble that you fill up too much. But, I have peace in all this, and you can have peace in all this. The hope is Jesus Christ coming back and his promises that he made. that he, he can't lie. He just can't. I'm not going to lie to you about this. All his promises have come true. And if, the more you get to know Jesus Christ, the more you realize what his promises are, what ones have come true, and what we're looking for. And even though this, it's terrible what's going on. It is, it's just way over the top. But it could get worse, and it's going to get worse. And Jesus said, remember, now, if this thing is true, look at it this way. If this thing is true and all these people are going to be infected, the whole world, a pandemic. It's not just the coronavirus, it's other viruses as well. Other things that are, just going to be fatal to people. Losing your jobs, being, income, all kinds of stuff. But all I can say is that through knowing Jesus Christ and knowing what he's promised and his second coming that he has promised, he's going to come back, and all the things that point to it, it just gives me a tremendous amount of hope, and especially a lot of joy. I don't see how I can get joy out of listening to these things, but there's that sense of peace that you get, but you don't know why you have it, but you have it. And because Jesus is coming back, and things will obviously immensely just change. We need divine intervention. He's promised that he's going to do it again. He came back one time to do something, and he did it. Came back to end the curse that Adam and Eve put on humankind. That curse is sin. And sin, with the 10 Commandments, sin equals death. And Jesus came to this planet, came in the flesh to know, that so we can grow up and experience the flesh and the spirit, and he still remained sinless. Okay, he showed that we could do it. But the thing is that he made promises and he kept them. And he also gave his life for all of us. He gave us his life for us so that we can no longer be held by that curse. Can't be held by it anymore. Past, present, future sins. We still, are infallible beings, and the way this world is set up, it's very, very hard not to sin. And all you need to do is just, repent of your sins, talk to the Lord, say, Lord, I'm sorry for my sins. I truly am. I'm sorry that I've done this. I'm sorry that I, did that over there. And you know what? The Lord, he has forgiven you. As soon as you are repentant, and he knows your heart, so you can't fool him. Sincerely be repentant, and, that's it. Sincerely repent, and you'll find out what happens after that. Things will change. They will. It's not going to be 1 second thing, after you repent. It's a relationship that you build with Jesus Christ after that. Who knows? Maybe, 1 minute that you're saved, the next minute you're being raptured. But this is all, work that's done in our hearts, and we change them as we go. We repent as we sin, and I live by faith of my soon coming King, and that's my hope, and it keeps me going. You got that hope. He is our what do they call that? Blessed. He is our blessed hope. He is everything. He is the King of Peace. Remember? King of Salem. When him and Abraham met and Abraham gave him the tenth of everything that he had, that was the Lord before he came for the first time. So he's been around for a long time and will always be around forever and ever. And we could be with him in paradise. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for the hope of his coming, and I watching the signs, and they're here. And we can all have that hope and that joy, knowing, yeah, we suffer all our life. And there's a reason behind that too. And we'll talk about that at another time. Yes. I would like to meet somebody who claimed that they have never suffered anything in their whole life. I don't think it's possible, but go ahead, leave a comment. God bless everyone. I don't know why I'm rambling on. I think because I'm not at the full hour yet, that, heaven forbid if I should, only go 40 minutes or 30 minutes. All right. So it's Wednesday. Hopefully I will speak to you again on Friday, Lord willing. In the meantime, keep looking up, man. Your redemption draws nigh. It's coming. He's coming. Peace out, everyone.